All right, here
Any
we
way,
go.
shape, or form.
You're fine like that. All right, welcome to Tat It Up. I'm your host, Keegan. I have a special guest here. I got my good friend from high school, Matt. How you doing, Matt?
What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great, Matt. Thank you for your time to be on my show today. Pretty
You're welcome.
simple enough. No problem, no problem. The simple enough on my show. I talk about yourself, get to know you. What is your career? What are you looking for? What is going to be successful for yourself and others to give good advice out to people? That's what I'm kind of looking for my guests on the show.
Gotcha.
So just to give you a clear mind of it. So Matt,
Good job.
start from the beginning, not from birth. We don't want to start from like all back away from number zero. We're gonna go.
Only so it would.
We're not gonna start from there. We're gonna go. We're gonna sim a little farther. We're gonna go into 2015. So 5 years from now, 5 years ago. My bad, not 5 years from
Let's
now.
say five
That's a
years from now.
future. Sorry, 5 years ago is the first year we were in high school. So what was your
Yes, sir.
mindset? What was your mindset into high school? What was your career if you wanted to do?
I don't really remember that much of freshman year,
Well, that's
really at
okay.
all. I I think I was excited but also nervous because it was like a whole new experience since like middle school was like what you knew, and then high school was just like this big step. So then I felt a little nervous if I remember correctly. Don't really remember, but kind of. And
Okay.
then I was really glad that we got computers, but later down the line figured out they were complete ass. But we don't talk about that.
Totally, totally.
Uh, I didn't know what I wanted to do as like a career wise for my future, so I'm just like I kind of knew, kind of didn't know. I was still like figuring that out, but like I was like kind of going in one way, kind of not. So I was like trying to test some things out, see how I like it. If I didn't, then move away and all this other stuff. Then it just played out from there throughout high school.
That's great. So when you started freshman year, I know how you said you were just trying new things, experimenting with
Yeah.
different careers. What was like the first career that came to your mind that you wanted to like actually achieve, but it might go a different way or you never achieved it or you changed your mind? What was that?
So I was trying out YouTube, I think back then. Like I was getting into YouTube. I was like, all right, let's try this, see if I can get something out of it. Because I was seeing people getting paid for these things. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try this, see if I can get paid. And then that didn't work out in the end. But I mean, at first, it wasn't that bad. I was trying to get into classes that I would enjoy. So, like, for instance, there was this, like, computer class thing. I don't remember what it's called, but it was, like, this computer thing where you could film but then edit, and then it was something like that. I don't remember what it was called, but it was something like that. And I
Okay.
also took engineering classes because I figured I was gonna do something that what my dad does. He's semi-engineer, kind of. So I kind of wanted to follow that because I saw how good he was doing and I kind of liked it. So I'm like, you know what, let's try to see if I can find any classes like that. And then I was also trying to figure out the YouTube thing. No one really knew I was doing YouTube. It was kind of like a beginner for me. So I don't even think my parents know still. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've been on and off with YouTube. They're weird, man. I haven't paid any kind of software whatsoever for editing or thumbnails or whatever. I've been doing everything free and doing trials because it's expensive.
I know, yeah, it
It's
is.
really expensive. Like holy moly. And I've made quite a few videos over the years, and none of them got so high in views. But I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Start from the
I mean,
bottom,
other than
remember?
that, I mean, high school, it was like hyped to be this big thing, and then like I remember it was like supposed to be this big time, but then I just didn't see it as that. I'm like, yeah, going every day to a building you didn't want to be at because it was so early was a struggle. But then at the end of the day, it was like, I'm glad I did it because I would have never met people there like you. I would have never met you if I never went to high school.
Oh,
Or,
totally.
I mean, now if I went to a different one or never went to it in general. So it's like, I'm glad, but also really wished it was a different way. But it is what it is.
That's crazy, man. I mean, if I didn't know you in high school or before that, my life would
Yeah,
have been different. It probably would have been the same. We don't know. Like I
exactly.
said, YouTube, man. I did YouTube too. Again, like my first video made the most views out of all of them. I mean, I'm under 100 views. You know, I'm not a
Really?
famous YouTuber. You know, like what
Yeah,
50 something subscribers. I don't remember exactly.
exactly.
You know, I'm
You
not a
have
famous
50,
person.
bro? I won't even have 50.
I know. I just so family members and probably
Oh,
just
exactly.
maybe 30 accounts, the same person, different accounts. Maybe just wanted to add me. I don't know,
Exactly.
but
Same as me.
probably never know. If someone can make millions of accounts and but following you in the same channel, you probably think, oh, it's different people. But like
Exactly.
reality, it's probably just one guy or girl making different accounts. Like, oh, look at me, I make 30 accounts. I'm gonna go follow this one channel to make them feel boost up. In reality, shit,
Yeah,
really.
exactly. It's
I'm like, I don't know,
annoying,
dude.
but you gotta deal with it.
I mean, it helps you, but yeah, it
It
doesn't
it
matter.
kind of doesn't a little bit.
Uh,
Depends.
yeah, I mean, we gotta do
What what made you start this podcast?
for podcast. Oh, my guest asked me a question on my show. It's usually I am asking the questions, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good. You were curious about why I started podcasting. All
Yeah.
right, since this is the first episode, tie it up, and you're my first guest, I'm gonna spill the beans, spill a little bit about my show. So I started watching some popular podcasts. I don't know if you know some of them. I listened to Tiger Belly by
Okay.
Bobby Lee. His girlfriend in the UFC. They've made their own podcast. They've been doing it for a while. And then Joe Rogan from the UFC made his own, and I listened to him. I listened to other people like business and stock people, other people who had different, podcasts. And it made me want to start doing it. And I
Okay.
started doing it, like I just wanted to do it. I bought my set. It's not the best set, but, I got it for cheap for good quality cameras and mic setup,
Mhm.
but it got me good. Then my goal on this podcast is to interview people who are successful, who can give good advice to others to follow their dreams and what career path they're taking, whether or not if you're a janitor or a doctor, and
Right.
you can still learn it. And yeah, for you, I'll be honest with you, not to roast you or anything. I mean, you can give a little bit of advice to people for getting you started from nothing, but you're still developing to what you want to become. It's like just me.
Exactly.
I don't know what I want to be, and
Exactly.
I'm trying out podcasting. I actually like it, so it's not bad. So I get to
Hey, you
talk
gotta
on it.
try out something new, man.
I gotta try everything new. Uh,
Right.
just want to do new things. So like honestly, let me get onto the topic of everybody can agree on to talk to
Okay.
whoever's gonna be listening to this when this gets on air. Whoever is listening to their cars,
Right.
their headphones, wherever. This is
Exactly.
to the public. What we're dealing with as a society at the moment, COVID-19 has
Mhm.
been a huge impact since the beginning of the year, from January of 2020 to now to present. And a lot of the states and countries are soon to be opening by the summer or the end of the month to start reopening things, but they're going to try to keep a minimum, maximum of people in certain stores and restaurants. And I saw a lot of areas, restaurants outside the area, my area, they're doing patio outside so people can outside, because I don't know if they feel a little nervous to bring people inside, due to all this
Mhm.
virus. And a lot of people are still opening things. People might have to still wear masks to locate
Mhm.
everything. I mean, what's your thoughts about this COVID-19 quarantine for the past couple months that I've been doing people?
I didn't think much of it at first. I just thought, hey, it's just gonna be another thing that passes by. We're just gonna have to deal with it. And this was back in like March when I was still in my dorm room in college. I wasn't even here. I was in my dorm room at the time, and I was hearing about it. I'm like, hey, it's just gonna. I didn't really think much of it. I'm just like, it's just gonna be another virus that we're gonna pass on. It's affecting a lot of people right now, but it's just gonna be something we pass by little bit. We get a word that we have to leave the campus because it's getting way out of hand. So we came back, and then like a week afterward, like we got told that we had to come back a certain date in like April, and then before that happened, we got an email from I think either our president of the campus or one of the deans of the campus. They said that the rest of the semester is online. For me, I like that. I don't want to like leave my house. I like
Feel
staying
you.
at home. I
Okay.
don't I mean I like I it's cool face to face institutions and stuff, but I like both online and face to face. So I wasn't I was not I mean, I was okay with it, like, it didn't matter to me, and then as time goes by, and then some people, this quarantine's hitting hard. Some people it's not hitting hard. Like for me, I don't really go out that much, so I don't really care if I have to stay home for majority of the time. It does get boring, I'll say that. I do get those times where I just want to leave and do
Yeah,
something,
that's how I feel too.
but but that only happens like once in a while. Like it can go a long time without leaving the house, so
I understand that. Yeah, I
I
feel
feel
it
that.
too. I mean, when I thought about it, when I saw it on the in January of when the beginning of the year started. You know, new fresh start for me,
Mhm.
start a good year. You know, kick it off with a good start. I saw on the
Mhm.
news from Chicago, and they said this lady, or particularly a particular person that came back from the Chicago airport, said they
Mhm.
had the virus of COVID-19 or the coronavirus,
Interesting.
and it spread in Chicago. And since I'm more northern of the city, I got a little concerned because I'm in the at least about an hour or so away from the city. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, maybe it's gonna hopefully not spread out here much. I mean, we're pretty a suburban area, but hopefully it doesn't come all the way out from the city to us. But over the time months come, I mean, the whole state probably has it by now, and it probably went from up and down from spreading it. And
Exactly.
basically, I started reading more, and you know, I thought like how you said, oh, it's just gonna be some random disease or a virus that's just gonna pass like that,
Yeah.
in a month. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Just it's not gonna bother me. Just one person. They'll cure that person and take it over with. And no, they tried, and then it got worse. And now we're been staying home for
Mhm.
about 30 plus days in our houses, trying to go outside. Yeah, I always see on the news people are going outside, walking around, biking, swimming, boating, anything like that to be productive. Which what you call it? It's great, but social distancing, you know, probably not a max of a lot of people, like 10 people in a group or less. But
Exactly.
honestly, I'd be going out once in a while here and there, probably like twice a week or so. I try to go outside when it's nice outside. When it's really bad weather, I try to stay inside and do some work with the podcast or anything like that. But honestly,
Mhm.
hopefully we can go back to reality. It might take a while to rebuild everything,
Mhm.
to clear the virus so we can go back to how we were before everything started going crazy. And
Exactly.
this year did not go so well with this virus thing. And then
Mhm.
speaking of this, like we had so many things impact us this whole year so far. With 5 months in, we had what you call it? We had Kobe Bryant died just recently,
Yeah.
40 years old, in a helicopter crash. And
Yeah.
we had what you call it? The virus breaking out, quarantine. Then we
Mhm.
had almost World War III breakout for that between our presidents and whoever in charge of the other countries' issues. We had
Yeah.
that almost happen,
That was
and
quite
then
a few times.
a few times with wars. I mean, there's probably wars right now. We don't know at this time, but we'll hopefully we figure it out, get from there. And then by the time May hits, you're like, okay, nothing. What's gonna happen? Because everyone's curious about each of the every 12 months of the year. What's gonna happen? What does 2020 in store for the next month? We gotta suffer for the next 30 or 31 days to suffer. Like
Yeah.
when April didn't have much, it was just nothing. Like okay, so we're good. Then next month hits, and then we saw this breakout with killer hornets from I think China or somewhere like that.
China,
Uh,
Korea, something like that.
Somewhere in the Asian area of the continent of that place. I don't know my geographic things because I didn't take the class.
You're good.
Wherever it is, people can correct me right or wrong on this podcast. But it came
Yeah.
from there. The hornets. I mean, I never counted one. I mean, all I see is bees, wasps, dragonflies, insect flies, all those bugs, stink bugs, which are really
Mhm.
irritating. Get in the house, you can't kill it because those boys they would just be coming more in the house, and you're just like, wow.
They
But
don't
like
stop.
these bugs, what you call it? I mean, we don't know what's gonna happen in June if everything's reopening. We don't know. Hopefully, we can figure out. I mean, one step at a time. We'll get through it on all that stuff. So, what's a call it? Let's just get off from the crisis of all these bad things. I don't want people to be like, oh, he's talking
Crisis
about
of nerves.
the crisis of oh, you know, I'm already suffered 5 months of this thing, quarantine virus thing. Can we just talk about something else? That's why I'm not gonna get so into like political or like thing like that. I'm not that. I'm trying to make this podcast fun, and basically how
Mm.
I want to do it. is that talk about things that are more interesting versus like, oh, Donald Trump's not wearing a mask. Donald Trump doesn't care about African Americans or Mexicans, making jokes about the wall. That nothing wrong with him. I don't hate him. Um, Hopefully he's not watching this or anything. The government, they have everything. But anyways, we're not gonna talk any smack about
You don't
anybody.
know.
Respect the higher power, disrespect or not. Anyways, let's just not get out of that
Respect
topic.
them, but they don't do their job. But still respect them.
Let's try. Let's talk about some sports to get some people on their mood. I listen to a lot of radio stations about that. I feel everybody out there right now. I know you guys missed the NBA. I do myself. I love that kind of organization of sports. Yes, hopefully they'll get back soon to the sport. They might just cancel the whole season, I believe. I don't really know. I didn't really double check with it. And yes, we have other sports like baseball, basketball, football, hockey, but it's indoors. But I don't know. I mean, still could cancel it. I mean, what will happen if a bunch of guys play hockey? But it doesn't matter. All the sports are not so well. We're just sitting in our houses. What do we watch? Highlights from last year from the sports. And like, wow, I already watched this already. I want to watch recent ones. You try to watch recent sports of like this year before it all shut down. And basically, my opinion on the sport thing, I wish they hadn't shut down, but due to that, they had to shut down because of the virus. But yeah, let's not talk about that either because we are also not going to talk about sports because people are really upset. Let's talk about other things. I be seeing on social media that they be making so many memes about what you call it, these green and purple aliens on Grand Theft Auto. I don't know if anyone plays GTA, if you guys are a game player or not. These things were about a couple of weeks of a meme and then they die down. I was really concerned. What are your thoughts about these green and purple aliens running in GTA Los Santos, which is based off Los Angeles? I mean, I get the meme's dead, but like, come on, we need to talk about it. What was the reason behind it? I mean, we both don't know, but what are your thoughts about these two? I don't want to say idiotic, but maybe stupid ideas of calling aliens two different colors about gangs. What are your thoughts about these two alien colors?
I've never actually seen one in the game, so I don't know what they look
No.
like.
I would pop a picture up. I would pop a
I don't know
picture up. I
this.
mean, they're pretty much just aliens. You look it up, you'll see them. I'm just concerned,
It's
like, why?
probably a mod.
It's probably a mod, but I went on my GTA on my console. The skin's free. You can buy both the skins for free at a store in the
Really
store.
interesting.
It's interesting. Anyone out there that still wants to make the meme more longer, but I mean, it's pretty dead. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about those alien things because they were already dead. We need to talk about more something else. What is the reason why people talk about TikTok? Like that thing has been so popular. I'll be honest with you. I watched it on YouTube and Instagram from TikTok people, and honestly, I was like, I'm not gonna be a TikToker or download the app in general because I just think it's just like Vine, how we had it in 2013, and that was kind of like that. But I guess TikTok's a little more popular. Honestly, it's pretty much like memes and making remake of stuff from a long time ago to recently now. I
Exactly.
mean, I have nothing wrong with it. There are talented people, famous TikTokers on there, but I'm not one of them. But it's okay. Everyone know my podcast, Tie It Up. That's in the bio somewhere. I don't know. I'm not really good at editing. But anyways, we're not at the point of that. We're gonna get into more details. So,
It's all good.
anyways, at this point,
I'm not either.
all
We
right.
gotta practice. Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. The first episode is not gonna be bad. There's gonna be cuts here and there and that. Doesn't matter. But I want everyone to listen out. They're like, okay, so what's the issue of podcasting? They asked me. Um, there's nothing really. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But during this time to ourselves, when this quarantine, is gonna take a quick back trip to that real fast. But during quarantine, I'm gonna ask, what did you use during quarantine as a time to like learn something, take this productive to become more successful out of it after you come back? Because honestly, after all this is over, we're gonna see two different sides of people. Not to offend anybody out in the
Hmm.
world, because there's so many idiots, but it doesn't matter who is and what. either people are gonna be coming out successful and smart,
Mm-hmm.
or stupid or dumb. Sorry if
It's
anyone's
true.
offended by that, but it's true. Hopefully, anyone agrees
It's
with me.
true.
But you gotta use this time to be successful. From these 2 months, I was sitting in from March to April to May. I sat in my house working on ideas to make money at home since I was getting paid by the government, which everybody did get paid for the unemployment check or whatever they call it, stimulus check, whatever, of that. I use this time to say, hey, I'm gonna start a podcast. I'm gonna make some money. I want to talk to people and shout out to them and talk to them about the world, myself, my guests, and anything like that. And honestly, I need everybody in this world to be successful or not. I don't care if you're a dwarf or a Shaquille O'Neal's height. I mean, to not offend anybody from gender to race to sexuality or whatever the hell you believe in. I support anybody out there. What you call it? And don't worry about anything like that because on this podcast, we're not racist. We're not stupid. We might make a couple of jokes here and there, but love of God, we respect everybody on this planet. I
Amen.
might, amen, Jesus Christ. I'm not a priest or anything like that. I'm sorry. I'm just a little bit religious,
Preacher.
but religious. That. Anyways, so let me get off of this topic because I'm getting off so many topics. Let's get in a little bit more detail. So I'm gonna go right back into high school again. So
Okay.
after you left high school, senior year, let's just go back. I know we talked about it in the beginning. Senior year, what was your mindset on the last semester when it was close to graduation day and the day before and then the day after? Explain how were you feeling before and after. I'll probably believe I might have the same answer as you, but I like to hear what was your thoughts before and after the graduation.
Well, on graduation, I was nervous and I was very pleased to be ready out of high school. I didn't want to go back, but then it was also kind of like a whoa, this is really happening. Like, hold on, I wasn't
Yeah,
ready for this. And then I don't know about you, but like in August of that year, I started college. I had to go and move to into my dorm and start a whole nother life in another state and start studying for the degree I was going for. So
what kind of degree was that you're kind of going to? You're trying to get an associate's, bachelor's, master's,
trying to
PhD,
do bachelor's right now,
bachelor's. You're trying to get a 4 years. What are you trying to major in? What is your major in college
computer
right now?
science.
Computer science. So you do have a vision where you want to be after college. Is that correct?
Yeah, I developed this probably junior or senior year. I figured out that I enjoy computers and coding and stuff. And I was thinking, I'm like, I like playing games so much. Why not do something around that? Because I'm like, I was thinking about testing games. So I'm like, if you make games, you also test them. So it's like, I'll just make games. So then I looked into that. And then there's a whole process of doing that. So I'm slowly trying to make my way to something. And then
That,
after I get my bachelor's, I'm thinking about mastering in game development back in Chicago. So
that sounds
after
really
that, I don't
good.
know.
We don't know. Prior family or something. Maybe not yet. Maybe you're just still figure out
I
after
yeah,
four
I don't
years.
know, man.
We
Just
don't want to
after
pressure
that,
you.
hopefully a decent job at a game company. Who knows? That's what I
Definitely.
want.
At least you have somewhere, you have a future and you have a mindset of where you're going to be at from right now to the future of that.
Mhm.
That's great. At least, like you said in the beginning of high school, you didn't know what you want to be. You were testing things out. Then by the time senior year was coming to an end before graduation, you had a mindset. You're like, you know what? I want to become a computer science or science computer or whatever it was, computer design,
Scientist, yeah.
science. Yeah, that, whatever. I'm correcting. Correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. But at least
Mm.
you know what I was looking for to say in it, but at least you know where you want to go. You know, at least you're
Yeah.
like, hey, I want to be a game designer. I want to make games, make people test them and get paid for it, or whatever, and make them the best selling games on whatever console, like Xbox and PlayStation. Whenever they
Hope.
have whatever, hopefully you get on that. Maybe the Wii, but I mean the Wii's kind of dead now. Maybe the Switch, popular three consoles right now, and everything like
Mhm.
that. For me, I'll be honest with myself. Before and after college, Oh, sorry, before and after. No, sorry, before and after high school, my senior year graduation. What I thought, I still my junior year, I had an idea. I wanted to be a designer, and
Okay.
I got into it more. And
Okay.
I want to become a multimedia designer. So I do designs on Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, all that stuff. I liked it. I started doing the class, and I got in love with it. My second year was great. I did everything I can. I made logos, all that stuff, programs for myself, and things like that. I became a photographer between that time as a designer. And then I thought to myself, by the time mid the second semester was coming through, I was doing the best I can to my work. And then I had this thought, I'm like, maybe I'm not going to be a designer. I think I'm just going to do it as a hobby or something for a side job. And
Okay.
so I dropped it. I finished the class. I still loved it. I had a passion for it. I dropped it because I just didn't see myself in the design world, even though I had potential for 2 years of it already. And
Okay.
so I dropped it. And crazy enough, I thought about other things. So I went back to my original career of majoring into for school for next to college after high school. I said I'm going to become a director and actor. So I'm going to do two careers into one and
Okay.
major into school. So after I finished high school, go right to college first semester, I said, you know what? I want to be an actor. I want to be a famous actor in Hollywood someday. And I had opportunities in Chicago and Milwaukee to go do some small films, skits, and stuff like that. Since I had my name out there and I was trying to get my name out there, and people heard about me and they saw my work, and they said, "Hey, we're excuse me, we're interested of you being in this production and programs of filming." I was like, "Great,"
Okay.
and all that stuff. And after that, I fell in love, and like, you know what, like my career is acting. Like I want to be an actor, and that's what I've been doing since I was little. But I took it away. I stepped away from it for a little bit just to focus on something I want to make more money in, which I became a designer in high school. And then I went from there, and then I came back to my original plan at 6 years old. And I was like, you know what, this is what it is. And then after that, I'm still working on it, and all the productions are going through. I mean, honestly, to everybody who's listening to this, uh, whatever you put your mindset to anything, like you're gonna put your mind to a set to something that you can be successful in. People put passion and love and effort into something. You want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, you want to be um, a business person, a businessman or a businesswoman, to do something great. It's okay if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up. I know high school is kind of pressuring you the 4 years to like make a decision. These 4 years, by the time you're done with those 4 years, you're ready to know what you're doing. I'll be honest with you. I thought I had something my third year. My first years, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I was just like, huh? What is this about? I don't know what school is about. It was a little scary, but I got over it. But my two last years of high school, I knew I wanted to do. And then I dropped it. Honestly, my advice to anybody out here who's listening again, hopefully, I don't know, whatever.
Mhm.
But anyways, put it out there and be successful like me or Matt. Yeah, Matt wasn't a famous YouTuber, but look at him now. He's a computer designer who makes awesome probably games in the future. Hopefully not
I
trash
made
trash
one-ish
things.
game, kind of. We got fourth place in a competition. That's what
Okay,
matters.
he got something like that. He could have brought that up recently, but it's okay. He didn't have to bring it up, but he brought it up now. It's okay. But he
It
made
is what
fourth.
it is.
It's what it is. He says, like you said, fourth place in a competition for his game. That's not bad. That's not first. It's not second. It's not third. But hey, you're at least at the top four. Hopefully, next time you be at the top one for your game in school when you go to college,
First
finish it
place,
up.
hopefully.
Hopefully, first place. Don't put negativity on
I will
that.
say
You're
that
going second.
it wasn't all single effort. I was in a group. We all made a equal effort into the creation of this somewhat decent game. That was supposed to be a game, but I don't know. I got a copy, but I don't know where it is. So
That's
who
great, man.
knows?
At least you had help with peers of your own to help you out with this game
Mm-hmm.
instead of doing it by yourself. I mean, either regardless, it's harder with yourself or others, but it's more
Exactly.
better to have more people there to judge it and give more opinions on it. Honestly, that between from advice from both of us to everybody, doesn't matter what you're gonna be, if you're the best or not. He became this gave him a sign that placing something sometimes doesn't mean anything, but sometimes it does. That means, hey, he tried, he got somewhere. Next time he's gonna do better and greater to make this game another different game to be off the charts, maybe the top 10 or top 5 or top 3, all that to become a great game designer. Wow, just talking about it makes me speechless and like, wow, can he do it? But that's this question he's gonna ask himself every day. It's not about other people asking him, what does he want? What does my old friend Matt want to do to successfully make it to the top, to become the best? And
Gotta
maybe
work
later
hard and
on,
pursue.
work hard, pursue everybody. That's what he says. Take that advice. If you don't take the advice, what are you doing? You're just sitting there listening to us like, hey, take the dang advice. Okay? This
What
man
you
is
think,
giving you good
stupid?
advice. He thinks he's stupid. Listen, guys, no, he's not calling you stupid. He's just a good guy. Listen to him. He's a good guy. Just take his advice, goddamn it. He's a good man. Work hard. You will do good.
All right, Keegan.
Don't fail it. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into an argument or defensively get into anybody's ear and be like, hey, do your thing. Focus on what you want to be when you grow up and do what you gotta do.
Growing
That's
up is
all.
scary though. Oh, I don't want to do it, but you have to.
It's okay. You have to. You just gotta push yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all the time I have for this episode. Thank you for tuning in on Tatted Up. I'm your host, Keegan, my special guest, Matt. Thank you for all the time you had to talk to me about yourself, your career, the
No
crisis
problem.
that's going on for the whole 2020. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Everybody, have a
My
good, stay safe.
pleasure.
Your pleasure. Chick-fil-A, hear it out. Give us
Adios.
a sponsor. Thank you.
All right.